Look at the headgear on those guys. Look at the supporters. What, are they dancing up there? Look at their shorts and their
Excuse me.
God. Look at the boots.
I can't believe you, man. I didn't come here to listen to your commentary.
Who asked you?
I'm not joking.
Just relax, just watch the film.
I'm not kidding. Knock it off.
God, will you just relax? Just relax and watch the film.
I will. If you'd shut up, I'd watch the film.
Don't tell me to shut up, man, you jerk.
Hey, you're a jerk.
Hey, don't hit me, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, just shut up.
Hey, just relax. I'm just trying to watch the movie.
You're ruining it for
Just
me.
sit down and watch the film, man.
What did you come here for?
Nothing
To do, man. Hey, don't touch me,
sit down and
man.
relax.
I'm not kidding. Don't
sit
touch
back.
me, man.
Let you hear
Let
what
go
I
of my
said?
jacket. I'm not
Let go of my jacket.
Hey, shut up.
Let go of my jacket. My jacket, man. Let go of the jacket.
Okay, everybody relax. Everybody relax. Thanks, guys. Thanks. We staged this conflict, okay, for a purpose. And the purpose was to show the strong effects that conflict has on people, on everybody. Not just the two parties that are principals, but to everybody around them, okay? So think back on what just happened, okay? How did you feel when this was going on?
I just didn't want to get involved at all. If it was going to fall this way, then I'd get involved.
I never turned around to see. I kept looking straight ahead at the movie.
I got pretty tense there. I didn't know, whether to get involved or not.
Outwardly, I was impassive. I didn't move a muscle. But when it was over, I realized I hadn't breathed.
Can you talk to us about it? What was going on for you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't feel anything at first, you know. And then afterwards, I guess it's like shock, you know, that it could happen in here.
I wish I didn't sit here.
There was a tightening in my chest, and I felt it all the way down to the pit of my stomach. I still do. I'm still reacting from it.
Conflict pervades our daily lives. Recent surveys show that over 20% of time in organizations is consumed by dealing with one form of conflict or another. And with total quality management and empowerment, we're all being called upon to interact with a broad range of people we didn't have to deal with before. Customers, suppliers, regulators, team members, people from other functions. And because of all this, the ability to manage conflict has become a key skill to organizational members. Now, concern is anything you care about, like your image, power in an organization, something you believe in, a goal you're committed to, anything like that. When that conflict occurs and you feel that concern is threatened, you respond by taking a position.
There are 5 basic types of positions that we can choose in a conflict situation. A good way to describe these positions is in terms of how much we're trying to satisfy our own concerns, what we call assertiveness, and how much we're trying to satisfy the concerns of the other person or party. We call that cooperativeness. At the point where we're the most unassertive and the most uncooperative, we're actually avoiding the conflict.
Jamie,
Why don't you practice each part separately and then put them together?
That's no fun.
Jamie.
Not again.
Don't do that, Jamie.
It's too hard to concentrate.
Well, see if you can block it out, all right?
I can't. You get a collar?
I wouldn't give her the satisfaction.
Hi, this is Richard, your condo association president. Please leave a message at the tone. Thanks.
Yeah, hi, Richard. This is Alan Bauer, 105. Well, never mind. It's not important. I'll get back to you later.
When our position is avoiding, we make little or no attempt to satisfy our own needs. And when both parties are avoiding, you are effectively at a stalemate. No one's concerns are satisfied, and both sides experience anger and frustration.
Most of us understand that resolving a conflict involves some kind of cooperation. And that's true. But what happens if we're only cooperative?
If we are cooperative without being assertive about our own concerns, then we are adopting a position known as accommodating.
Hi, Nancy. Nice to see you again. Taking care of these gentlemen? Good meeting.
Howard, I was wondering if you had any movement on those overdue accounts of yours.
No, none. You know I'm really swamped. Can't you just divvy them up with the other reps?
Well, sure, if you think it'll give you more time to focus on those targeted accounts.
I'll get to them, Catherine. I hear you.
No problem. Just asking. Have you followed up with Dr. Wakefield yet? He's going to be getting money for the rehab unit, and I know he's a solid lead.
I know how to develop leads, Catherine.
I didn't mean...
Yes, you did. You have been riding my tail for weeks, pressuring me about my prospects. Just let me do my job, okay?
I'm sorry. I was just making a suggestion, that's all.
Look, I've got a 3 o'clock presentation.
Go. You'll be late. Don't worry about Dr. Wakefield.
Thanks. I won't.
When we're accommodating, we make a real attempt to satisfy the other person's concerns.
Angie, get in touch with Wakefield's office and let them know I'll be taking care of the account for the time being.
On the other hand, we're making little or no real attempt to truly satisfy our own concerns. Accommodating results when we are being highly cooperative but relatively unassertive. What happens when we do the opposite? When we are highly assertive but relatively uncooperative? Then we are, in effect, competing.
Janice has approved all stock orders to date. Are there any other big requisitions I should tell her about?
What about Alan's inventory order? He's been squawking about it.
She turned it down. He doesn't need that much inventory on hand.
He's been asking about it every day. You know, the whole group's going to get behind on the inventory orders. Alan is not going to be too happy about this.
Well, he's just going to have to learn how we do things.
In competing, we frame the conflict solely in terms of our own concerns.
Elaine.
Alan.
Where's my 26 gauge? I just checked, we're almost out.
It'll be in later this week.
It was supposed to have been here last week. What gives?
Janice held the order.
She what?
See you guys later.
We held it. Alan, you're supposed to order when we're at our control threshold. Now, that's half a skid.
I don't believe that you guys held my order. You don't put these things together. I do. Now, how do you know what my needs are?
Would you let me finish? She's the one who has to approve expenditures. You know her just-in-time procedures as well as I do.
While attempting to satisfy our own concerns, we show little concern for the other party.
Till then, I'm doing it by the book.
There, feel better?
Why even put pretend you're cooperating with us.
If I'd known that it meant that you'd be shorting me parts, I'd never have signed up. Elaine, you're not my boss, and your procedures are not the focus of the universe.
And yours are, I suppose?
So, glad to see accounting and production talking. Or not.
Russ, you're on the work team. Would you kindly inform Alan that he is to stick to our control thresholds?
Russ doesn't have to kindly inform me of anything.
Boy, oh boy. Every day it's the same thing with you two. Always at each other's throats.
If both parties are interested only in protecting their own positions, it may be difficult for either of them, or anyone else, to devise a way out.
There, all you care about is your guidelines.
Look, maybe you need someone to moderate. If you want me to do it, I will. Otherwise, you better get off your hind horses and start talking.
Competing, then, is what we might consider a classic conflict situation. Moreover, whatever position we may have previously chosen, if we are unsuccessful in resolving a conflict, we may actually move to competing out of frustration.
D'intorno mi vedo, del mio cuore l'inferno non cedo, meglio ad torno gradita, forse un'altra, forse una volta, un'altra.
What's going on here?
Seems you've got a noise complaint.
I don't believe you called the police.
I didn't.
Who did?
They called.
When you've taken a position and things have escalated or in some other way they're not working, it's important to realize that you have flexibility there. Most people don't understand the full range of choices that are available to them and how they manage a conflict, and how, by exercising those choices, they can steer conflict towards productive and constructive outcomes.
Another type of position that can sometimes be effective actually lies midway between competing and accommodating. This is when we are being both moderately assertive and moderately cooperative. It's called compromising.
She's good. I see why you encourage her. But does it have to be every night?
Her teacher gives her a new piece every week. She's got to have time to practice.
Why so loud? Half the time I'm turning up the stereo just to drown you out.
Same here. All right, look, I suppose we could set some kind of volume limits for both sides.
I guess I could use headphones, but not all the time, you understand? Just some nights.
When we are compromising, we agree to give up half of what we want in order to get the other half. This is also known as splitting the difference.
I could do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
All right. Maybe on the other nights, she could practice before dinner. Sounds fair enough to me. Maybe we should ask a third party. Jamie?
Although these last three positions, competing, accommodating, compromising, seem quite different from each other, they have one thing in common. Each of them produces only partial satisfaction for one or both of the parties. In the case of compromising, both parties get only part of what they want. They get something, but have to give up something in order to get it. There's one last kind of position you can take in a conflict. Of all of them, it requires the most patience and commitment to achieve. But when you're successful, you completely satisfy the concerns of both parties.
At this position, we are being highly assertive about our own concerns, but also highly cooperative with regards to the concerns of the other party. It's called collaborating. Collaborating begins when we are willing to look past people's positions to uncover the concerns that underlie those positions.
Listen, Howard, let's admit it. We're at a standoff about how we work your accounts. And so far, I've been letting you have your own way.
Not always.
Mostly. And it isn't working.
Go on.
I'd like to try and put aside the friction for a moment and find out what you really want.
May sound selfish, but what I really want is to be left alone, to develop leads and handle my accounts in my own way.
But Howard, I have to know the status of all the open and pending accounts. I mean, it's my job.
I know, it's just, well, I'm not used to having someone check up on me. Where I used to work, I didn't have a direct supervisor.
And how did that work out?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Okay. So you say you feel you work best with a lot of autonomy. And your track record supports that. What I need...
For collaborating to work, we must engage in active listening and talk with one another honestly and openly.
Take Dr. Wakefield, for example.
Unlike some other positions, in collaborating, we are highly assertive with regard to our own concerns.
What you don't understand is those inventory levels are 2 months old. I'm producing at twice those levels now.
Alan, I can't change inventory guidelines on my own. I could get into trouble.
In order for collaborating to be successful, it also means we have to be highly cooperative with regards to the concerns of the other party.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I'm the one getting in trouble now, because I can't get the work out.
Listen, the last time I ignored quotas, I got chewed out by the whole committee.
Doesn't make any sense.
How many pieces do you need to finish the run?
25?
I'll tell you what. I'll order 25 now if you'll go to the committee with me tomorrow and help me get this ironed out. Okay?
Ultimately, collaborating succeeds because it defines conflict as a mutual problem and allows us to work towards an integrative outcome.
Production graphs and your...
Wakefield called. His funds have come through. He's ready to talk.
You know, your instincts were right on that account, Howard. But I have a problem.
Let's talk.
Once a resolution has been determined, collaborating requires that both parties continue to revisit and commit to the process.
Now, I agreed to give you greater autonomy with your accounts and not to look over your shoulder.
And you've done that.
Right. And you?
I promised to submit a summary to you, and it's late.
Yes, and I didn't want to bug you about this, but it's been 3 days.
I finished it yesterday. I'm sorry it's late, but I did put it on the email network for you.
You know, Howard, working together isn't easy, but I'm sure it'll be worth the effort.
No, Catherine, you're absolutely right.
Collaboration is especially important when you're dealing with organizational issues that are crucial. When both concerns you're talking about are too important to be sacrificed. The important thing to understand is the broad range of choices you have in how you deal with the conflict. Knowing those choices and being able to use them allows you to manage the conflict more constructively.
It's not like Catherine. She knows this is your night to practice. Jamie? Excuse me, Catherine, have you seen